I read this beautiful story in Tatvaloka and I just had to share it with you. A sage was walking by the sacred river Ganga with his disciples early one morning. The air was filled with the chanting of the holy names. Suddenly, they saw a couple arguing loudly in the distance. The woman lost her necklace while bathing. Her furious husband shouted and she shouted back. The sage stopped and asked his disciples, "Why do people shout when they are angry?" One disciple said, "Because we lose our temper." Another said, "Because we want to make our point." The sage nodded and asked again, "But the person is right next to you. Why shout at someone who is so close?" The disciples were silent. Then the sage explained, when two people are angry, their hearts are no longer close. Emotionally, they are miles apart, and to cover that distance, they shout. The angrier they are, the louder they shout, hoping to be heard. But when two people are in love, they speak softly. They don't need to raise their voice because their hearts are close. The disciples absorbed the truth in silence. The sage then added, "It's the same with japa. In the beginning, when the bond with the divine is still forming, you may chant aloud. But as love deepens, you begin to whisper. And eventually, even silence becomes enough because the presence is so near." That line stayed with me because in my work, I suggest mantra chanting both for spiritual growth and as a remedy during difficult planetary periods. They often hesitate. They ask, "What if I don't concentrate properly? Is it okay to chant mentally? Am I doing it wrong if my mind wanders?" And I always tell them, you don't have to be perfect. You just need to be present. This is where the sage's teaching becomes so helpful. One of the disciples asked, "What if our minds get dull or distracted while doing japa?" The sage smiled and said, "Then don't force silence. If your mind becomes sleepy or scattered, chant aloud or whisper the mantra gently. Let the sound carry you back into awareness, and once your mind is alert again, return to mental chanting." This is the best way to keep your sadhana both mindful and alive. Now let me explain what he meant clearly. When we talk about mantra chanting, it's not a rigid practice. There are 4 stages or 4 types of japa, and each serves a unique purpose on our spiritual journey. Think of it as a beautiful staircase you climb step by step. The first type is spoken chanting or vachika japa. This is chanting out loud. It's the most fundamental form, grounds you in the present. That is why this is physical consciousness. Especially when your mind is restless, the sound of the mantra helps focus your energy, acting like an anchor. The second type is whispered chanting or upamshu japa. In this form, your lips move, but the sound is so discreet you can barely hear it. While Vachika Japa connects us with the external world, Upansu Japa helps us begin the inward journey. It is a representation of mental consciousness. It requires a deeper, louder focus, drawing on the mantra's sonic energy without external distractions. The third type is mental chanting or Manasika Japa. As the name suggests, this is purely mental recitation. There is no external sound and your lips don't move. It requires a lot of practice and a highly focused mind. Manasika Japa is 10 times more effective than the spoken Japa. Why? Because it represents intellectual consciousness and allows you to connect with the subtle vibrations of the mantra without any external sound. As the sage said, this is where the heart is closer to the divine. The fourth and the final type is unspoken chanting or ajapa japa. This is not something you do, but something that happens. At this stage, the mantra becomes a continuous unconscious act. It's so deeply ingrained in your being that it continues to resonate in the background of your mind all the time, even as you go about your daily chores. This stage represents transcendental consciousness because the mantra has become one with your very being. It's the ultimate state of effortless meditation. Both Vachika and Upansu chanting are uttered and hence are Dhwani Yukta mantras, whereas Manasika and Ajapa are internalized and are hence Chitta Yukta mantras. So when my clients ask how to get started, I tell them to be aware of where they are on their journey. If your mind is restless, start with Vachika Japa. Chant aloud. Don't worry about perfection, just focus on the sound. Once you feel more comfortable, move to Upansu Japa. And when your mind is calm and alert, you can practice Manasika Japa. The most important part is the sage's final teaching. Don't force it. The path of spiritual practice is an act of love, not a test of your will. On days when you feel tired or distracted, simply switch back a stage. This flexibility is key to keeping your sadhana vibrant. Remember, the goal is not to perform a ritual perfectly. The goal is to build a relationship with the divine, one soft word at a time, until the sound becomes a part of you. And now for the questions I hear most often from clients. Let's get into some of the frequently asked questions about mantra chanting. Question: what if I can't concentrate or if my mind keeps wandering while chanting? Wandering is normal. Every time you return your mind to the mantra, you're actually strengthening your focus. Is it okay to chant mentally? Yes, mental chanting is powerful. But if your mind is restless, start with spoken or whispered chanting to build focus first. Is loud chanting less effective? Not less effective. It helps when you feel distracted. But as your connection deepens, you will naturally move to mental chanting. Can chanting help me with my astrological problems? Absolutely. Mantra chanting is one of the most powerful and accessible Vedic remedies. By connecting with the specific divine energy of a mantra, you can harmonize with planetary influences, bring balance to your life, and navigate challenging periods with greater grace and strength. The daily practice helps to recalibrate your own energy to align with the higher cosmic flow. For more on how these ancient practices work, check out my video on the science behind Vedic remedy. Which type of japa should I start with? Begin with spoken chanting, that is Vachika Japa. It's the most accessible form and provides a strong anchor for your awareness. What if I mispronounce the mantra? Your sincerity and intention truly matter. While correct pronunciation is beneficial, don't let the fear of mispronunciation prevent you from starting. I hope this helped you on your journey. I would love to hear about your own chanting experiences, so please share them in the comments. And if this resonated with you, don't forget to like and subscribe for more astro science wisdom. Dhanyavadaha.